Hey all, welcome to ShareTrack. This is Raj here. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm planning to have one. Today I want to talk about what we saw in the market during this week, especially the jobs report and some of my concepts which turned out to be false. I need your feedback on what you guys think about it. So with that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. Even though the earnings report from Alphabet, Amazon, and Apple did not inspire great confidence, they definitely did disappoint. The conventional wisdom seems to be that the cost-cutting efforts of the companies are going to compensate to the loss in the bottom line due to the lackluster forecast. Now, if you look at the cost-cutting efforts, some of the big things that we have already seen is a large number of employees being let go by companies like Meta, Amazon, and those numbers definitely are going to make an impact on the bottom line in a very positive manner. There is a little bit of confusion in my mind when I'm saying these words. I'm going to express that as I go further ahead. But right now, I think that's what the market thinks about the situation. And it seems that what could not be achieved through growth can be achieved by cost cutting. And that's why, despite bad results, it seems like Apple stock or other stocks have not lost quite all of their gains this year. The main problem now is the fact that the economy has added 3 times as many jobs as expected and came in at 517K jobs in January against an expectation of 187K. I mean, this is like showing a red rag to a bull, except that the bull is the Fed and the red rag is the high jobs number. What will Powell do? Will he now turn bullish? This is the big question. If the Fed turns bullish, then they may telegraph bigger rate hikes and the market may fall again. Because all these people who have got the jobs, they're all going to spend in the economy. So that's going to push the demand side, which means it's going to spur the inflation. That's where the Fed will come from. So I'd like to show you a slide now, and I want to talk about it. So here's the chart that I wanted to show you. And in this chart, you would see that leisure and hospitality has given a contribution of 128,000 jobs to the latest job report. So leisure and hospitality is definitely not something that is coming from other continents. Like my theory would have been that the fact that we are seeing such high employment numbers despite high interest rate could be because we are becoming a multipolar world, and globalization is being cut down, and we are trying to produce everything within the country. And as a result of which, maybe we'll end up having trade within the continent instead of going all the way to China and other places. And therefore, I was expecting that the manufacturing jobs would go up very much. But manufacturing jobs have not gone up as much. What is happening is that the leisure and hospitality industry is going up. Agreed that leisure and hospitality suffered the most during the COVID period, but we have long past reopened. And this particular statistics throws me a curveball. I don't understand what's happening there. Then professional and business services has gone to 82K, government 74K, and healthcare 58K. So all these are the numbers which are actually boosting the January jobs report. But if you look at retail trade, it's only 30K. So not as many recruitment in retail trade as compared to leisure and hospitality. Construction is just 25K. Transportation and warehousing 23K. If you look at transportation, manufacturing, and retail trade, they haven't contributed much. If we argue that US is an advanced economy, so the service sector is going to be the biggest of all, and it will form the biggest component of the economy, then it makes sense. But this definitely doesn't give me the clear, resounding message that we are becoming multipolar world, and that globalization is being cut down and all manufacturing is going to happen within the US, which is what I was thinking about earlier. And I was wondering what you guys think about it. Please put it in the comment section to give me some idea of what your thoughts are, because this is not fitting the the proposition I have in my mind, or the logic that I have in my mind, or the model that I have in my mind. So back to some good news for my Tesla shares, which have been languishing. The US Treasury is reported to be changing its definition of what a SUV is. And that is expected to make electric vehicles like those from General Motors, Tesla, and others eligible for up to $7,500 in federal tax credits. As a customer, I would hope Tesla rolls back does not roll back its discount. But as a shareholder, I can easily see why Tesla may want to roll back some of its discount or play around the pricing at least to salvage some lost margins. So I'm very hopeful that Tesla share prices will go up now because of this news. And let us now look at the indices, movers and shakers as well as the genomic shares. I'll start with the futures first, and here we are in our TradingView chart, and we are looking at the futures chart here for Nasdaq, and Nasdaq futures shows the negative of minus 1.73%, and therefore I think Monday is likely to be a difficult day. And also we have this candle pattern out here. According to the Japanese candlestick pattern, this is a bearish pattern where within the body of a green candle you have a red candle. Of course, this wick is going slightly out of the body out here, but it's more or less a bearish sign. So on Monday, we should expect a further drop. But overall, I think we are still way above the bearish channel, and we have got a lot of support before we come to that. We have a support at 12,168.25. So I'm hopeful that it's not going to be too bad. But as I mentioned earlier last week, the technicals were very bullish, but fundamentals were weak. And now we have on top of that another risk factor, that the job reports being what they are, so bullish, Fed may have to probably make some statements that's going to indicate a tougher stance on interest rates, and that's likely to put further downward pressure on the share prices. So we'll have to see how it goes. Now let's go on and have a look at QQQ. US oil definitely is going down. It's fallen below the bullish line of support. So I'm happy with the direction that US oil has taken. And MACD is also bearish, and momentum is also looking weak. This is good for the overall economy. And if you look at QQQ, one of the things that makes me feel that tomorrow, on Monday, we are going to see a negative day for QQQ is because the gap up was very unsystematic, and therefore we need to have a bit of drops to cover this gap and then move forward upwards. And also I am still hoping that we have some support from our horizontal line of support here from the earlier consolidation channel where it performed the role of a resistance. That's at 298.20, and right now QQQ is at 306.18. So I'm thinking that definitely we are going to have a support out here, and Monday is definitely going to be a day when the QQQ moves down. S&P 500 has also made a move down. It did not have any gap up, so this is in a relatively healthier state. But again, the support here is coming from the diagonal line of support, which was earlier the resistance for the previous bear channel. And I'm going to draw a line out here to show the line of support. So we have a line of support out here for S&P 500, and this is going to give us a first level of support, and after that we'll get support from this line, which I'm going to convert into green because it's going to perform the role of a support. So let us see how it goes, because MACD is still bullish, but momentum has fallen after touching the overbought area, and RSI has been overbought, and then it came down. And tomorrow's sentiment definitely is negative when I look at QQQ and Nasdaq futures, but we'll see what happens with the S&P 500. And Russell Index also saw a drop, but it did not fall below the range it was in yesterday. So that's a positive sign in my books. And it has been overheated. The RSI has been overheated, so it's likely to come down a little bit. MACD is very strongly bullish. And we have this resistance out here at 191.38, which is going to perform the role of a support for us at this point of time. So I'm okay with the Russell Index. Let us look at Dow Jones. Dow Jones is still trying to break out of the bullish pennant out here. It made a bit of a foray out there and came back. It was a very range bound in a short range. MACD is decent, but momentum is trying to fall down further. So I'm not very sure about Dow Jones. And if you look at VIX, the VIX is trying to break through a resistance of 18.57, but it did not manage to do so. It's going to try and attempt again tomorrow. The momentum is not yet picked up to above average, so I still have hopes that VIX will stay tame on Monday. But if you take all the signals together, the Nasdaq futures, the QQQ, and the VIX, then I think that VIX will have a tendency to move towards at least being average or slightly above average on Monday. If you look at the US dollar index, it has broken through the bear channel. This is not a good sign because the money is going to come out of stock market and get into the dollar index as it starts its journey upwards, and you can see the sharp spike upwards. Immediately people have fled the stock market, and I think money has gone into the dollar index, and it's broken out of the line of resistance. So now this line of resistance becomes a line of support, and we want to come back down under this, and we'll see how it goes. Now let's go on to have a look at the index movers and see how much damage has happened after the latest earnings reports. So Microsoft has gone back under the horizontal line of resistance of 259.95, and that's also because it was overbought and it came down. MACD is still bullish, and we have the dividends coming up on 15th of February. There's a steady dividend from Microsoft. And in terms of news, we have, I don't think we have any new news out here for Microsoft specifically, but Microsoft related companies, there are some news. And I think let's go on to look at Apple. Now, we have a gap up, even though the cup and handle did materialize. Let me fix the target for cup and handle out here. So this is my neckline, and I'm going to clone this and move this up. So the cup and handle would have a target of 161.14 for Apple. But because we have had this gap up, very minor gap up out here, we may probably come down and then go up, or maybe we do the journey upwards. But I'm confident of holding on to this target for the near term. One of the other concerns I have, apart from this small gap up, is the fact that we are overbought on the RSI. And let me draw a line of resistance on the RSI. So this is the line of resistance out there in the RSI. So we can go all the way up there and then come down. So tomorrow probably we might have a thin wick that goes and touches the top and comes back. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But if the overall market sentiment is negative, I would be happy to stay within the range of yesterday, to close within the range of yesterday's candle, that is Friday's candle on Monday. Let us see what happens. But the fact that Apple ended positive indicates, as I mentioned, that people are confident that cost-cutting measures will restore some margins. Amazon has fallen significantly, and it has covered the gap up that it had created. So now it's in a healthy position to move up. The overbought situation is also taken care of in the RSI. MACD is still bullish. So I'm hoping to see some movement, some positive movements on Monday if the market sentiment allows. But looking at the overall sentiment, it doesn't seem that that's going to be the case. If you look at Google, Google has come down below the previous line of resistance of 105.06. It's at 105.22. It's just about the borderline. So I'm going to leave this as is. And I'm just going to convert 103.81 into a support. That's all. So that's going to be our next line of support on Monday. MACD is bullish, but momentum is pointed downwards. I want it to pick up. So everything depends on what the markets decide on Monday, whether they're going to worry about the Fed coming out with more interest rate hikes, or maybe the Fed makes some pronouncement before market open or on Monday. I don't know. There are things that could change it. But as I mentioned earlier, the technicals were very strong, but the fundamentals were not there. So now fundamentals are coming back to hit us. Fundamentals always trump technicals. So here we are. And also with Google, we need to finish off this gap up out here. We have to fill it up. So more or less, I think that we are likely to break through this support and come down on Monday. The more I think about it, I think Monday is going to be a negative day. FNGU had a big drop, and it still has to fill up this gap up that it created, and it has got support out here at 75.55. And let us see if it met our whether it met our target for cup and handle. So I'm just going to clone this. So the support at 76.44 was the target. So we have gone beyond the target and we are coming down. I hope we bounce off from here, from this green line out here at 75.55. But tomorrow is likely to be a down day again for FNGU because RSI is overbought and it has to cool off. And that said, let us go and have a look at genomics, or genomic shares. Wonderful genomic shares. What are they doing? So SQZ Biotech has a surge of 3.24. Fate Therapeutics is up 0.59%. It's gaining steadily. I think I'll do a video on Fate Therapeutics. A few people have requested that. And also I can see that the Fate Therapeutics sentiment is improving. People are getting more interested in Fate again. And it's moving towards the average mark. So that's good. MACD is also bullish. And we have earnings coming up on 27th of February. So closer to earnings, there will be some volatility. Let us see if there is any news items out here. No news items, no latest news as such. Let us look at Bluebird. And Bluebird was up 0.30% on Friday. And as far as Monday is concerned, I think it has a resistance at 6.86. And it has got support at 6.44. And I'm pretty sure it's likely to break the support at 6.44 and come back down again. Because momentum is the momentum is below average and it's not looking very strong. MACD is slightly bullish, but it can easily slip into the bearish side. Beam Therapeutics was up 0.70, was down 0.70%. It opened lower and then it went up. So it opened much lower and went up, and it still got this bull channel supporting it. So I'm not too worried. Momentum is also above average, so it can go down a little bit. I wouldn't be worried because it's still above average. MACD is also bullish. So with Beam, I'm expecting it to stay above this diagonal line of support. And the reason that it might probably go down on Monday is purely because of market sentiment and risk averseness. CRISPR Therapeutics has stayed above the diagonal horizontal line of support at 54.77, and the MACD is bullish as well as the momentum is above average. So I'm expecting that CRISPR Therapeutics will stay above this bullish line of support on Monday. And then if you look at Caribou Biosciences, it was down 2.31%, and the MACD is bullish, but momentum is pointed downwards. It's above average. And I have a line of support out here that I would like to draw. This is the bullish line of support that we have here, and I'm hoping that we're going to stay above that for Monday. If you look at Editas, it is down 2.34%. It opened lower and then it went up, and it was in a very narrow range. Let us see if there is any news for Editas. There is no news as such at this point of time, and we have earnings for Editas coming up on 7th of March. So that's a long way out. RSI was overheated, so it has cooled down a little bit. So let us hope for the best on Monday. This channel is very steep. That is one concern. The bull channel is very steep. And the other concern I have is there's a very, very mini gap up out here which needs to be filled up. Maybe that will happen on Monday and then we'll go up. Invitae was up 2.60% and it's settled above the line of support at 2.56. So I'm going to mark it green. So it seems to me that we might, after all, probably touch 3.35, which is the target of the cup and handle. But the market sentiment is not looking great. Momentum is above average. MACD is also bullish. But if the overall market sentiment is bad on Monday, I don't think this thing is going to work out. IMTX was down 2.80% on Friday. It continues to have a resistance at 8.80. MACD is bullish, but momentum is below average, so it may lose on Monday. Verve is down 3.0%. MACD is bullish, but momentum is pointed down and it's a bit weak. We might probably end up staying above 22.47 on Monday, but definitely we are going down on Monday. Intelia is down 3.03%. It's come below the level of resistance of 43 level of support of 43.64. So 43.64 now performs the role of a resistance, and I can see that the MACD is bullish, though the momentum is falling. Because the momentum is above average, I'm expecting that we are going to stay, we are not going to drop too much. And if I was to draw a line of support for a bullish channel out here, it would seem like it's very steep. But we are also looking at a double bottom out here, which is a bullish sign, which needs to push us upwards. And we were just about breaking out when we came down again. So I'm not sure what will happen on Monday, but based on overall market sentiment, I can't rule out the fact that it may come down. If you look at PACB, PACB was down 3.6%, and it's still trying to break out of the bullish pennant, and I hope it does that on Monday. But looking at the momentum, I think there is a little bit of a possibility, but MACD is weak, and if overall momentum is bad, it can still come all the way down to this line of support of the pennant out here, and we'll still be having a valid pennant in place to break out of later. Illumina was down 4.75%, and it still got support at 208.37, and I think it's going to test the support on Monday. And if we go to BNGO, which is Bionano Genomics, which is down 5.08%, it's trying to reach the cup and handle target of 2.07. It came as close as 2.01, and then it had a drop yesterday to fill up this gap up. And I think on Monday it's likely to test the supports out here at 1.78. Allogene was down 5.24% on Friday, and it still got support here at 6.53. MACD is bearish, momentum is dropping very fast, and I'm going to draw a line of support, and I'm going to say that we are going to stay above the line of support on Monday, and that's my call for Allogene. And if you look at DNA was down 5.94%. I'm waiting for it to come somewhere around 1.70. And at that point, I would likely load up to do a dollar cost averaging. And the MACD is bullish, but momentum is dropping. So Monday, I'm expecting DNA to drop further and come closer to this support. So that's what I have for you, my friends. And that brings me to an end of this session. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Please do not forget to put a like out there. Well, friends, we are introducing a new segment for weekends. And it's going to be Raj and Friends. We have a group of friends of the channel who are very interested in the channel. I have been having some chats with them about ChatGPT. That was our first topic. And we have recorded a couple of episodes. We meet every weekend to talk, and we decided that instead of just talking among ourselves, why not record that and share it with you guys so that you can see what's happening behind the scenes. So I have John, Sam, and Jesse joining me in that chat, and you will probably see the video on Sunday. So it will release at around 6 o'clock on Sunday. So that's going to be the new segment. And we are working on a few more things. We have already recorded 2 episodes of a course on options. We are trying to teach you how to do covered calls, so you'll know everything about covered calls. 2 episodes are over. I would be recording the 3rd episode, in which I'll actually go into my trading platform and do a covered call trade to show you what it looks like and what are the various things that you have to click in order to place a covered call. So that's all in store. So friends, I'm really thrilled that our channel is growing very fast, and you guys have given me great support. But there is a small request I have for you. When I look at the YouTube stats to understand how I'm doing with the channel and how the audience is liking it, I find that 60% of the audience who are watching the video have not yet subscribed. Please subscribe and help us grow this channel, because subscription is absolutely free. We have not yet introduced paid memberships, and I don't plan to do that right now. It's going to take some time. So just subscribe and become a member. It's going to cost you nothing, and it's going to help the channel attract better guests and better interviews. So with that, I would like to end this session here. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.